A funeral in East Preston this afternoon is expected to draw hundreds of people from far and wide. Larry Patterson, a singer and former president of the Nova Scotia Mass Choir, died last Friday. He was riding his motorcycle to work when he was hit by a car that crossed the centre line. Larry Patterson's death is the 11th motorcycle fatality on Nova Scotia roads this season. Chuck O'Hara has been keeping track. He's a member of the Harley Owners Group Central Region, an international motorcycle club with 30 chapters in Nova Scotia.
Morning, Mr. O'Hara.
Good morning. How are you?
Great, thank you very much. Did you know Mr. Patterson?
I did. Larry happened to work on the Cruise for Kids that we organized a couple of weekends ago, and he was one sensational guy.
Yeah, all reports are he was a remarkable man.
He was a fabulous person. He was the kind of guy who opened his heart to you the minute he met you, and that says a lot about who he was. He's going to be missed.
11 deaths so far this year. What's going on?
I think it's odd that it's happening. The riders who have been in fatalities are seasoned riders. They're not new to the riding game. I think it boils down to we have more vehicles on the road in general, not just motorcycles. There's a lot, as I ride in or drive in from Exit 5 and the 103, traffic has doubled. Now that they've twinned the highways, it just is incredible how many cars are on the road, how many motorcycles are on the road. If you go in the Hammonds Plains Road, traffic may, at certain periods, may be tripling. I see driver inattention every morning, whether I'm on my bike or in my car. People on cell phones, total inattention to the task at hand of driving. I see instances where there is road rage. I actually encountered two guys on the 103 who looked like they were going to fisticuffs. I couldn't stay around and find out what they were up to, but they were out of the car and the fists were flying. I just think people are not paying attention to the task of driving a motor vehicle.
Dude, correct me if my numbers are wrong. 6 people killed on motorcycles last year and 11 already this year. We still have a couple of months to go.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
That's just a weird spike, or does this indicate that this might be what we're going to have to deal with, and we're going to have to sort of try to find a way to cut those back?
I think we have to find a way to educate all motorists on what it is that a vehicle could do. I don't think some people realize that they're driving a loaded pistol, that they could take a life. And think about it this way. It's not just motorcycles. It's not just cars. It's bicyclists.
Pedestrians.
Pedestrians go on Spring Garden Road. People will cross against lights and then look at you as a motorist that you were wrong, that you haven't given them the right of way. Everybody thinks that they are the most important person on the street.
There's been one mutation, and I don't know how you feel about this, but when ordinarily, say 20 years ago or whatever, people say motorcycle, it was the kind of thing that young guys bought, and buy the 750s, buy the 1200s for that matter, and drive them way too fast and kill themselves in horrible numbers. Increasingly, including in this office, guys whose hair, the same color as that yours is and mine, are children are out there buying Harleys, are buying bigger bikes, and they're not as young, they're not as quick, they're not as able physically to handle some situations. Do you think it could be that a lot of the people who are involved in some of these accidents are middle-aged guys who just don't have the chops to be riding big bikes in traffic?
I don't feel that. The riders that I know, and I ride with all the food groups, Kawasaki's, Yamahas, Hondas, scooters. We ride on the road with all of those folks. I haven't encountered a rider who doesn't have what it takes to ride the bike that they've chosen. If you look at the fatalities, they were not caused by motorcyclists. They were caused by cars. A head-on Larry's case, a car crossing the center line. At that instant, no matter how quick your reflexes, it's
already too late.
You have no option.
And boy, some of the pictures are devastating. I mean, bikes rather, buried into the sides of cars which turned in front of them.
If you look at the accident that happened on the 103 towards Bridgewater, the Harley was mostly in the passenger side of the car.
Do you vary your routine? And did you bike in or did you drive in?
I drove in this morning because of the
your car.
In the car.
So you're a seasonal rider. You come into work every day.
Every day. Some days I bring my bike. Other days, it's my vehicle.
And is that a function of the seasons or a function of the weather conditions or both?
A function of the weather conditions. I don't like to be wet.
But also fall. If you're coming in on the highway.
Well, today, if you were coming in, you have two things to watch out for: any leaves that are down. You also have to watch out for roadkill when you're coming in the early hours. If you are coming in and you don't happen to see a porcupine that's dead on the road, you're down. Even with your high beam on, or if a deer comes out this time of the year. So you have to be ever vigilant when you're in the car. But when you're on a motorcycle, you are even more vigilant. You're watching for other motorists. You're watching for deer, porcupines coming onto the highway. I haven't met a motorcyclist who isn't watching everywhere that they can see as they ride down the city street, watching for pedestrians, watching for bicycle riders who will cross in front of you. Pedestrians will cross in front of a motorcycle. They don't realize that I'm riding 550 pounds of vehicle that could maim them, and they take all the chances you can imagine. I've had people step directly in front of my motorcycle when I'm riding down the city street.
Well, folks, driving in, we have a lot of people in cars today driving in all the 100 series highways and beyond. Maybe they'll be a little more careful today, thinking about that funeral today.
I hope they will.
Yeah. Chuck, good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, son. Thanks, Liz.
Chuck O'Hara is a motorcyclist and member of HOG, the Harley Owners Group, Central Region. And a funeral for Larry Patterson will be held this afternoon at 2 o'clock in East Preston.